Some kind of machine. A blower. I can't escape the blower. If I'm in the country or if I'm in the city, there's always a dude blowing the horn. That sounds terrible. I mean, like, oh, the leaf blower. Day 16 of your astrological advent calendar. I'm Lindsay. Today we're talking about Mars in Capricorn. It only happens once every 2 years due to its cycle around the sun, right? The orbit is 2 years for Mars. So this year we're getting it right at the exact precise moment that we need it. With all this Jupiterian and, I don't know, we've talked a lot about the emotions. Mars going into its exaltation in Capricorn really helps to ground some of this energy, some of this emotional energy. This is for only 7 weeks, December 15th through January 23rd, 2026. Wherever this is happening in your chart, it's going to bring in a master builder or a very precise general. Now, how it's tending to feel. You might feel a little bit more willing to handle responsibilities, not so overwhelmed potentially, very clear in your priorities, more patience on slow progress, not being so hard on yourself if things aren't moving the way that you want them to, because you're starting to see a bigger picture for the follow through. The follow through is through precise motion over time. Less wasted energy is another potential that we're going to be feeling with Mars in Capricorn during this period. Why is it so great? Well, Mars is exalted. So now we have 2 planets in their exaltation, Jupiter and Mars. And exalted Mars in Capricorn is at its absolute best because all of that power that Mars has, all of that heat and courage and energy, it's going to be channeled through Capricorn. And Capricorn is patient and diligence and respectability. It's strategy. And Mars is very strategic. And this is going to have a practical application in the real world. It's like instead of starting 10 things and maybe finishing 2 eventually, this is very precise. It's like, okay, I pick this one thing. It means something to me. I'm going to get this done and finish it properly. That's Mars and Capricorn. What do you want? How are you going to accomplish it? And it's consistency instead of something dramatic, you know? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And Mars going into Saturn sign is an exaltation. It's like it brings the best of those two things together. And Mars works really well in that area. But Saturn, on the other hand, is in fall in Aries. And that's Mars's sign. So I think Mars works really, really well with the boundaries and the strategy of what Saturn brings, whereas Saturn has more of a challenge because Mars in Aries, that energy is so much more fiery, fast, independent, individualistic, and it's a little more challenging for Saturn. So that's sort of an interesting contrast there. By late 1776, the Revolutionary War was not looking good for the Continental Army. So they suffered a lot of losses in New York, and there was not a lot of morale. The soldiers' enlistments were all set to expire at the end of the year. So everything was kind of hanging by a thread. Washington needed to have a victory in order to boost their spirits because they didn't want to stay there. They didn't want to keep doing it. They felt like they were losing. But he knew he needed to do something to keep the army together. So he came up with this really bold, high-stakes surprise. There was a garrison of German mercenaries that were hired by the British. They were called the Hessian garrison, and they were all stationed in Trenton, New Jersey. Washington chose Christmas night strategically, deliberately, because he knew the Hessians would be celebrating and they'd be less vigilant. They would be celebrating Christmas. Did he care that it was Christmas? No. Mars and Capricorn. Strategy. That's what mattered. That particular Christmas was brutal weather-wise. It was a nor'easter where there was sleet and snow and rain and high winds, and he had to get 2,400 men and 18 cannons across an ice-choked Delaware River. This is a Durham boat. This is the famous painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware. The weather was causing a lot of delays, and they didn't reach the New Jersey shore until the next morning. It took them a long time. They were way behind schedule, and 2 of their support groups could not cross due to the ice. They were exhausted. It was terrible. I don't know how he got these people to do this, but he must have had some, incredible power, obviously, to get those men to cross another 9 miles during the storm to Trenton, New Jersey. On December 26th at dawn, they struck, and the Hessians were completely off guard. Some of them were still recovering from their Christmas celebration, aka they were hungover, but they were defeated within an hour. That's pretty crazy. The Americans captured nearly 1,000 prisoners. They got the supplies, they got the weapons. They suffered very few losses. Mostly they were just lost because of cold rather than combat. This was a game changer because it lifted morale and encouraged the soldiers to re-enlist, and it was an impossible victory, and it became possible because of strategy, because of not giving up. It's like, I got a mountain to climb. I'm not going to stop till I get to the top of that mountain. I don't care what comes in the way. This is Mars in Capricorn. It's so determined. The Washington's leadership was about meticulous planning, the timing of Christmas. It wasn't awfully good for the weather timing, but they endured. So that's mythic, probably. It's maybe exaggerated. I don't know. It could be completely, totally literal. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. But history is told by the victors, and this obviously was a very big deal. It was a turning point in the war. I like telling a story that's Christmas based from Mars and Capricorn, but isn't necessarily squishy and nostalgic and sweet and emotional. There's the stakes. There's the thing that needs to be done. Do you want to do it? Sometimes no. Is it emotionally satisfying? Probably not. Is it going to get you where you need to go? Yes. That's the best thing about Mars and Capricorn. Day 16, Crystal Advent Calendar. Yeah, another really rocky one. So good. Oh, it's like an iceberg in the Delaware River. Yes. I love it when I love it when the crystal aligns with my story. Raw green fluorite, focus, emotional detox, mind clarity, place on desk to boost study and reduce anxiety. I'll place it on my desk. Yeah. This feels emblematic of an iceberg in the Delaware River, Mars and Capricorn crossing over the bridge from emotionality and overwhelm to getting something a little bit more rational into our lives and getting things done despite the challenges, despite the things that maybe seem impossible. Mars and Capricorn says nothing is impossible, except for maybe me doing a life without somebody blowing a leaf blower. No matter where I go, these leaf blowers are always following me. I like you just the way you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being open to this content, for this type of storytelling astrology. It's not normal. It's different. I know. And it's not just a bunch of technical astrology, because astrology is life. It's everything. It's George Washington crossing the river. It's being in a place that you don't want to be. It's seeing a car crash. It's all the things. It's all the things. And astrology helps put containers on it. It helps make meaning through story. That's how our minds work. That's how we're designed. So if this works for you too, I'm just so happy. I'm really glad. I like you just the way you are. I probably already said that, but I like saying it, and I'll say it again if I want to. See how Mars and Capricorn I'm feeling? Say it if I want to. I like you just the way you are. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow.